Hello everyone and welcome to the Legal Access, where we discuss everything commercial and labor law. My name is Mesha and today we're going to be discussing different business entities in South Africa. We will not be discussing state-owned entities and non-profit organizations because their aim is to assist people who are looking into starting their own businesses but don't know which entity to work with, and people who are trying to make a profit. Hence we will not be discussing non-profit organizations. So I'm going to mention the name of the entity, one advantage, disadvantage, maybe two, we'll see. And then at the end of the video you'll be able to decide which business entity will work best for you, and then you can just go about it. If you need more information, you'll find our information in the information box, and then we'll be able to assist from there. Okay, the first one that we have is a sole proprietorship. I think it's the one that a lot of us are similar with. Mostly your spaza shops are sole proprietorships. It's a business wherein there's only one owner, and the owner does not have a separate legal personality from the business. The advantages, the one advantage is that you are the only owner of the business, meaning that when you make decisions, you're the only one that has to make decisions. You can make decisions easier and then quickly implement them because you don't have to answer to anyone. The disadvantage is you are personally liable for the debts of the business, meaning that your personal assets can be seized in order to pay the debts of the business. Okay, the second one is a private company, the PTY Ltd. We also used that one. With a PTY Ltd, there can be one director or more directors, and then you can have your shareholders, blah 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 blah. You contact me if you want more information. An advantage of that is an advantage of a PTY Ltd is that you have the directors and the shareholders have separate legal identity from the business. The business has its own legal personality, meaning it can sue and be sued and all of that. And then the disadvantage of a PTY Ltd is it has a lot of, how can I put it? It has a lot of requirements, legal requirements. For instance, say you want to get into a contract. As a director of the company, you might not know how to get into a contract representing the company. So now you have to get a lawyer to assist, because then if you do it yourself, you might end up not, how can I put this? Okay, say now you want to get into a contract, right? As a lay person who's just owning a business, you don't know the legal implications of getting into a contract on behalf of the company. And if there's more than one director, there's also more legal implications. So in that regard, you need a lawyer to come and assist you with a simple thing such as a contract. So that is just one of the disadvantages of a PTY Ltd. And then the third one that we have is a partnership. With a partnership, a partnership is just an agreement between two or more people towards the same business goal. It does not have to be only natural persons. Also companies and other business entities can get into a partnership. So an advantage of a partnership is that you don't have to register it either, and you only need a partnership agreement between the parties, and then you can start operating from the partnership. And then the disadvantage, I want to give more information than I said I would. I want to, but the problem is I don't want the video to be very long. That's why I'm giving one advantage and one disadvantage. Okay. The disadvantage is that the partners are liable for the debts of the business, same as the sole proprietorship. Yeah, so say you are in a partnership and then the partnership has debts. The partners are liable for the debts of the partnership, even if one partner is the one that got into the debt on behalf of the partnership, then all of the other partners are liable for that debt. That's the disadvantage. So with a partnership, you must have a very, very tight partnership agreement that ensures that you don't end up having to pay for useless things that your partner did on behalf of the partnership. So you must be very strict when it comes to the partnership agreement. Okay, and then the next one that is similar to a partnership is a personal liability company. A personal liability company is usually used by accountants and lawyers and all of that. So it's registered, a personal liability company. It's the one where you find that there's the words Inc., short for incorporated, at the end of the name of the business. So it is very similar to a partnership in that the partners, well, what do they call the people who own a personal liability company? Okay, I'll call them partners. They are liable for the debts of the business, same way with a partnership, and that is the disadvantage of it. And the advantage of it is that when it comes to sharing of profits, it's easier. It is the discretion of the partners to decide how they're going to share the profits, unlike with a PTY LTD where you're like, it depends on the number of shares, blah blah blah. With a personal liability company, you can just share the profits however way the partners feel is best for them. And then the next one is a public company. Public company is all of the companies that are listed on the JSE. So with a public company is basically a company that has its shares open to the public to buy. So anyone can buy the shares of their company. The advantage of a public company is that it's easier to have capital because anyone can just buy into the company, giving the company more capital to work with. And then the disadvantage of a public company is that there's certain information that you have to publish because your shareholders are the public and have a right to know what is happening with the company. Whether the information is good or bad, you still have to publish it. And it's a disadvantage because it can impact the company, the reputation of the company, and whether more people would want to invest in the company or not. Okay, and then the last one that we have is a trust. So a trust, basically you can have a trust. We have a trust that you make at your death, if that makes sense, like a will trust. In your will you have a trust that you say this trust must be established and this is how it's going to work. Or you can establish a trust while you're still alive, and then you can do that through a trust deed. Excuse me. The advantage of a trust is that the trust will still continue. It's like you can run your trust while you're dead, basically, because the trustees have to follow the trust deed. So how do I put this? It's like you're still managing your trust even though you're dead. Like you're ensuring that even at your death, your trust can still operate how you want it to operate. And unlike with a company where you have other shareholders and directors who can now change how the company is being ran. With a trust, because it's yours, even if you're dead, it's going to be ran how you want it to be ran. Okay, I'll just give two advantages because I'm not satisfied with the first one, but I can explain it in the comments if you have a question regarding that. Another advantage of a trust is that when you die, it's not a part of the estate duty. Like, you know how when we administer deceased estate, some of the monies cannot be they cannot be used by your spouse or your children, because you now have to administer the estate first before the money can be used. The assets that are in the trust do not form a part of that. They can still be used, and your children and your wife, I'm making an example, can still benefit from the assets of the trust while the estate is being administered. So the trust does not form a part of your estate. I hope it makes sense. We don't talk about trust enough, I feel. So it might be a bit confusing, but if you have a question, you can tell me. And then a disadvantage of a trust is the expenses involved in starting a trust and running a trust. It's quite expensive. And I'll give another disadvantage is that when you're running a trust, it's not just about, you're not the only one who makes the decisions. The trustees have a say in whatever decision has to be made about the trust. Remember, with a trust, there's you, the founder of the trust, and then basically it's yours, the assets are yours, and all of the trust is yours, but it's for the benefit of the beneficiaries. You elect who's going to be the beneficiary of their trust, and then it is ran by trustees. So whatever decision you have to make, you have to speak to the trustees, and then they will decide whether it's good for the beneficiaries or not. And then so that's a disadvantage. You can't just wake up and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do with my trust. You have to speak to the trustees first. Okay, that's it for the business entities that we have in South Africa. I hope the video will assist you in deciding which business entity to go with for your business. You don't all have to have PTY LTDs. You can have other business entities. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Any questions you have, any comment, just let me know. Thank you for watching up until the end. It is quite a long video. I tried to be as short as possible, but the information is too much. So thank you for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.